Okay, let's just cut right to it. In the world of tech right now, there is one giant question on everyone's mind. In this massive battle of AI titans, who really comes out on top? Is it OpenAI's ChatGPT or is it Google's Gemini? They're both absolute powerhouses for sure, but they are not the same thing.
So today, that's what we're going to do. We're putting them head to head. We are going to cut through all the hype and really dig into how they perform on actual, real-world challenges, both creative and technical. And by the end of this, you'll have a much better idea of which tool is the right one for you, and more importantly, for what specific job.
First up, let's meet our contenders. Because, to really get this, we need to think of them less like computer programs and more like, well, distinct personalities. Each one has its own unique philosophy kind of hardwired right into its code.
So on one side, we've got the latest version of ChatGPT. You can think of this one as the deep thinker. It's all about that analytical depth, delivering these really polished, complete results. It's kind of the seasoned veteran in the ring. And then on the other side, you've got Gemini, the speedy multitasker. This one is built from the ground up for speed, for cost efficiency, and for just pure versatility. It's the agile up-and-comer.
So let's see how these different personalities actually play out. It's time for round one, the creativity test. Here, we're going beyond just raw data. We want to see how each AI handles the tricky stuff, like tone, creativity, and explaining things in a way that's simple and, well, human.
We gave both AIs the exact same, really simple prompt. Teach me a magic trick for a 6-year-old. Now, this is a fantastic way to test their ability to explain something practical in a way that's fun and kid-friendly. It's a test of clarity, yeah, but also personality.
And ChatGPT's response? Honestly, it was like having a friendly magic coach right there with you. The steps are just crystal clear. It even throws in a pro tip about misdirection. And that final line about pretending to be amazed too, that's perfect. It's practical, but it's also really charming.
Now, Gemini, staying true to its personality, went for a totally different vibe. It took the same basic trick, but it wrapped it up in this whole narrative. It really leaned into the drama and the magic, trying to capture a child's imagination with a story. So, two different approaches, but both are really valid ways of being creative.
All right, for our next test, we moved from creative stuff to explaining a pretty complex technical concept. We asked both of them to define an AI hallucination for someone who's not an expert, a term I'm sure you've been hearing thrown around a lot lately.
ChatGPT's explanation here is just a fantastic analogy. It's instantly relatable, it's memorable, the confident but wrong friend. I mean, we all know someone like that, right? It's a perfect, crisp way to get the idea across without getting all bogged down in technical jargon. Gemini's response is more of a metaphor. It paints this really vivid picture of a character, the unprepared student. It feels a bit more opinionated, maybe. It gives the AI's behavior a motive. It wants to sound smart. So again, two very different but pretty effective ways to explain something.
All right, the creative round showed us their distinct personalities, but now it's time to raise the stakes. We're diving into the technical gauntlet. We're talking benchmarks, speed, cost, and some real-world coding challenges. Let's see what they've really got. Okay, so looking at these standardized benchmarks, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. For the super advanced reasoning tasks, like graduate-level science and complex math, the latest GPT consistently pulls ahead. I mean, it scored a perfect 100 on the AME math test. That's insane. But Gemini does hold a slight edge in multimodal reasoning, which is all about understanding things like images and audio, not just text.
But raw performance isn't the whole story, especially if you're a developer. And this is where Gemini's whole philosophy just shines. When we look at the cost to process 1 million tokens, which are just pieces of words basically, Gemini is dramatically cheaper than ChatGPT. And that is a huge, huge deal for anyone building an application that needs to handle a lot of traffic.
So benchmarks in cost are one thing, but what happens when you ask them to actually build something? To find out, we gave them 3 practical coding challenges. We wanted to see which one delivers code that's not just functional, but actually ready for production. And the results here were, well, they were decisive. Across all 3 challenges, ChatGPT 5.2 just consistently delivered solutions that were more complete, more polished, and way more ready for real users. Sure, Gemini built tools that worked, but ChatGPT went further. It added better user interfaces and more thoughtful features.
It suggests it has this superior grasp of what a developer intends, not just fulfilling the request, but actually anticipating what the end user needs.
So, after putting both of these AIs through their paces, through the creative round, the technical round, what's the final verdict? Who actually wins this showdown?
Okay, so what's the bottom line? Well, the truth is, there isn't one single winner here. It all comes down to what you're trying to do. If you need speed and low cost for a massive, high-volume application, Gemini 3 Flash is your champion, hands down. But if you need that deep thinking, complex problem-solving, and those really polished results, ChatGPT 5.2 is still the one to beat.
Let's just break that down into a really simple guide. If your number one priority is building something that needs to be incredibly fast and cheap to run at a massive scale, you go with Gemini 3 Flash. But if your work involves deep research, complex analysis, or high-stakes coding, where polish and precision are absolutely critical, then ChatGPT 5.2 is the one you should be reaching for.
Ultimately, this whole showdown just reveals how specialized and incredibly powerful these tools have become. But this race, it is so far from over. Both of these models are evolving at a totally astonishing rate, which leaves us with a really fascinating final question. It's not just about who's leading the pack today, but who is learning and adapting the fastest for tomorrow. So, who are you betting on?